breaking poverty, God has allowed Jacob to erect a Christian center building. Most of the money was raised from these people themselves. We helped them with the roof and hardware, but they did the work and consequently feel in a real sense that this church belongs to them. Jacob and Marjorie have the responsibility of this congregation as well as the main Christian center in Cuernavaca. Here we are renting this Christian center building, which is rapidly becoming too small because of the rapid growth of the congregation.
Ya todos hablan de ustedes, de hecho hay miles de personas orando por todos ustedes, pero no les conocen. Entonces es bueno que nos conozcamos, que sea así de película, ¿verdad?
Enviar dos parejas
Luis
en el mismo
Mejia
lugar,
is asking Jacob and
posiblemente sea
Marjorie what their
aquí
goals
dentro
are
del
for the
estado,
future in
en
Mexico.
Cuautla, en Jojutla,
Jacob has replied that
posiblemente
he
en otra
has
ciudad
two
aquí
fundamental
de México.
goals.
Esos son los
One is
planes
the
que
building
tenemos
up or edification
para,
of the new
vamos a
Christians
decir, un
and
año y
especially
medio,
the leaders.
lo máximo,
The
un año
second
para
is to have
firmarlos
500
y
converts
el
here in
siguiente tiempo
Cuernavaca by the
para
end of the year.
establecer otro
Soon
centro
we want to
cristiano
send
dentro del
out
país
couples
también.
who are trained in the Word of
Gracias,
God
Jacob.
and
Gracias,
discipled
Mario.
for ministry.
Realmente
First
es
to
un
Cuautla,
placer,
here
un
in the state
privilegio
of
estar con
Morelos,
ustedes
and then
y
perhaps
conocer
to
el ministerio de Dios,
Jojutla.
que
Luis
el
is
ministerio que
saying what
Dios
a
les ha dado,
privilege it is to
y
be in
gozarnos como
Mexico
parte del
and see the
cuerpo de
ministry
Cristo que
God
somos
has given.
miembros los
And
unos de
then he
los
is
otros.
saying thanks
Y
to all of you
queremos dar
watching this
gracias a los
film
hermanos
for
que nos
your
están
help,
mirando en este
your
momento, por
contributions
sus
and your
ayudas,
love,
por sus
even though you
contribuciones,
don't know
por
them.
sus
We
oraciones,
want
por su
to
amor,
give thanks to
que a
God
pesar
for
de no
you and
conocernos han
encourage you to
estado
continue helping us
ofrendando
so that
y
this
orando por
ministry of the
nosotros.
Christian Center
Y queremos
here
dar
in
gracias a Dios por
Cuernavaca
ustedes
can expand
y
to all of
animarles e
Mexico
instarles
and
a que
its millions of
continúen
people.
ayudando
Thank you, brothers and sisters,
para que este
and may God
ministerio del
bless you.
Centro Cristiano aquí en
Please pray
Cuernavaca
much for
se
Mexico as it
expanda
is on the
a
verge
todo
of a
México,
political
que
revolution.
son muchos millones
Jesus
de
is the
habitantes
answer for
con
these
mucha
millions of
necesidad
restless
del
and
Señor Jesús.
unhappy people.
Gracias, hermanos, y que Dios los bendiga.
El Salvador is much in the news these days. Mr. Zamora and Mr. Ungo, leaders of the Marxist guerrillas, are determined to make El Salvador another Nicaragua. Arms and ammunition have been shipped in from many communist countries such as East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Cuba, and Nicaragua. This guerrilla war is masterminded by Russia, whose leaders have as their target the United States of America, who alone is strong enough to stop her from world domination. The guerrilla war has caused thousands of people to flee their homes. They have had to leave everything behind, their homes, their land, and their possessions. Thousands now live in refugee camps and are totally dependent upon others for their sustenance. This lady is the director of this refugee camp. We have asked what we can do to help. They need shoes, clothes, and food such as rice, corn, and beans. They need medical supplies and schools for their children. We want to help them and ask for your support financially so that we can. A hungry man cannot hear you when you try to preach to him. Their physical needs must be met before we can help them spiritually. But the Bible says man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. These people need hope, not just for this life, but for the life to come. They need God's message of love and hope and peace and joy. Children suffer more in conditions like these than anyone else. The trauma of war and death and insecurity is hard to forget.
Van a cerrar los ojos y va a salir Miguelito. Cuando ya todos tengan sus ojos cerrados, él va a salir de la bolsita con
Linda, whose parents were missionaries in Central America for many years, speaks Spanish fluently and has a weekly Spanish children's broadcast that is heard in many countries of Latin America. She recently held a very successful crusade for children in San Salvador. The children were enthralled with her puppet, Miguelito.
Yo creo que ya pasamos ahora, tenemos amigo le dice, está loco, loquito, ya no puede ir en paseo. Y por cierto, que todos se fueron del paseo, menos Enrique. Y Enrique estaba de lo más triste y se sentía bien hasta cierto punto porque no copió, pero a veces uno cree cuando hace lo correcto y no le sale bien, ay, no sabe si quiere seguir o no. El día siguiente, por la mañana, en su casa, sonó el teléfono. Gracias. Miguelito, dile salud. Porque no escucharon. Miguelito, ¿estás listo ya? Se me olvidó el canto. Ay. Jesús, nuestro Señor Jesucristo, es el que tiene esas señas, esas marcas, esas huellas en su mano. Entonces, vamos a señalar así. Jesús me ama. Jesús me ama. Me amas, Señor. Yo lo sé. Tu palabra lo dice. Yo lo creo. Gracias por amarme. A pesar de mis pecados, de las cosas malas que hago, tú me amas, Señor. Quiero que seas mi rey, mi Señor, el que manda en mi vida. Gracias. Amén.
Linda had been asked by Reverend Motesi to join him in this El Salvador crusade. On the closing Sunday in this huge stadium where 40,000 adults were gathered to hear Reverend Motesi, Linda and some 3,000 boys and girls marched into the stadium and circled it twice to the applause of thousands of moms and dads and to the joyous singing of that great crowd. Linda had been ministering to hundreds of children each day during the previous week in some of the schools and in a large church near the stadium. The parents would leave their children at the church and then go on to the stadium. Each child had to be registered and receive a name tag which they had to wear. Because of war conditions, security was very important. God has gifted Linda with a real talent to reach boys and girls with his message of love. Scores of them gave their hearts to Christ. Linda was given the privilege of addressing that huge crowd of adults and children. God gave her a message to parents and pastors as to the importance of reaching children. One pastor said we should have done this 20 years ago. This crusade was a huge success, even though they had to meet from 5 to 7 p.m. and be home and off the streets before 8. 13,725 people made decisions for Christ, and both Reverend Motesi and Linda Pritchett have been asked to return. As my wife Linny comes in a moment to sing the theme song that you hear on our daily radio broadcast, this is John Olson asking you to pray for Latin America and all of us here at Transworld Missions. And if God should make it possible for you to help us with a monthly gift, we would appreciate it so much. Take another look in a moment at some of our sharp, young, dedicated pastor leaders and some of the needy people they are ministering to.
Children lost and voices crying, do you care? Can you say with God's dear song?